Good evening, Byron. How are you doing today?
Hey Jim, how you been? What's going
I've been
on?
doing good, just enjoying the day and enjoying the time because I always enjoy Wednesdays because we're talking shop.
We talking shop. It's time to talk some football and some talking shop.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to discuss. First of
Yeah.
all, I want to give a shout out to my man Jason. He had a little surgery
Okay.
and hopefully everything's going well. He said I won't see him for a couple of weeks. And hopefully everything went well. He said he's doing well. So, Jason is a regular for us.
Yeah, we want to wish him a speedy recovery because
Yeah.
the Vikings they kind of fell out the bottom last week in that preseason game.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins didn't even wish him to get well. I'm upset at that. And
Well, we're gonna have to call Kurt and tell him he got to get a memo out to Jason. So
yeah, he definitely does. But here was an interesting thing. I was looking through things to talk about tonight, and ESPN had a power ranking for 2022 of all the teams, and we can talk about it. You have it too, and It's pretty interesting. I don't know what they're basing this off, and this is all post draft. And the number one ranked team is the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. And, it's still a question mark of how the offense going to probably be since they got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Brian, and Ken Dorsey is the new offensive, and Ken played in the league. I don't know. He wasn't very successful in the league, but that doesn't mean he can't be a good coach. Right. And their running game has got to be questionable.
Yeah, I saw where they got a backup running back that might can help them out this year that they excited about. But that's one question mark on their offense.
Mm-hmm.
The only question mark.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see how they progress because everybody's going to be they're going to be the hunter. I mean, actually the hunted, even though they didn't go to the Super Bowl and they lost in overtime, obviously to Kansas City.
Right.
But they've had issues with teams that were strong running teams.
Right.
If you remember, Buffalo has had issues with it. So that kind of remains to be seen if they can overcome those issues.
And a couple of things, too. That division with the Patriots and the Miami Dolphins is going to be, and of course, the Jets are in that division, but still, with the Dolphins and the Patriots, they're going to be challenged in that conference, but they should easily win. But,
as we progress, you'll see that they don't have a lot of faith in that conference when you start to see where they rank people at. And it's interesting, like I said, the next team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady's back.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady just went and had him a relaxation and he had a revive. Maybe went and just had, just cooled out for a couple of weeks, and he don't see enough training camps. He didn't want to be there no more. So he took a break.
From my understanding, he had planned a vacation with his family before he decided to come back.
Okay.
And it was at a private place in the Bahamas, and he couldn't get out of it. So he had to. I think that's there. There could have been other issues. We don't know. We'll never know the truth.
Right.
On it. But I thought that was fascinating that they would have Tampa Bay up so high, number 2.
I don't think Tampa Bay gonna win the opening game. So that's my take on it. They should have won the opening game last year, but I think it's gonna be tough on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and then you gotta remember he doesn't have Gronk anymore. Yeah, but he does have some really good receivers.
Yeah, Julio Jones and stuff went over, but a lot of times their receivers got hurt. Like Josh got hurt the last 2 years, so he hadn't been able to play the full season. So Mike Evans is most consistently over there. Then they got Julio Jones this year.
Yeah, but here's my question about this: is they got a lot of injuries in their offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to be their downfall. I know they got some good running backs, and like you said, they lost one of their running backs to Kansas City.
Yeah.
They lost one running back to Kansas City. And I don't know. This is kind of, like I said, this is interesting who they're picking. They're basically saying that Tom Brady is going to win it by himself. This time, I don't know about this because Goodwin is coming off an injury, and you said the other one, I mean, they got Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And they got one more.
Who's going to be their tight end? Who?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. They got some question marks. So I don't know how they're doing this. The next team was this is all post-draft, was
right.
number 2. Now they're number 3 is the Los Angeles Rams.
I like the Rams. I like the Rams. I still say the Rams is really going to be the team to beat.
I would think so.
West Side.
Yeah. I think it depends on the health of Matthew Stafford with that elbow.
Yeah.
His tendonitis is serious as we don't know how serious the tendonitis, but we should find out in the first couple of games if it's a serious injury or is it something that they can monitor and take care of. So that's the thing. They still got Aaron Donald. They still got a lot of those players on defense.
Their defense is looking good. Yeah, Ramsey.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about that with Buffalo. They got Von Miller, who was obviously won the Super Bowl. They can always go get Odell Beckham if they need an extra receiver.
I saw something today that Odell Beckham looking at 2 teams probably to sign with, the Rams and the Cowboys.
Oh, really?
That's what I saw today. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Those are 2 teams I think that might be on the list for him to go to.
Yeah. Well, he was in Dubai a couple of weeks ago for a boxing match.
Okay.
Beckham. So who knows when he's gonna come? He might not come back till later in the season.
Well, if he come here, man, maybe I call him up and maybe we hang out a little from time to time. But I tell you what, that was a good week for me to get around Dallas, man. I'm so glad they won their preseason game.
Yeah,
people weren't trying to run me off the road this week.
I know. When they lose, it's not a good time around here. But that's it. The Rams. Number 4 is Kansas City.
Kansas City. I
kind of like Kansas City this year. I wouldn't be surprised.
I was looking at some of the people they signed. Of course, they got Juju Smith, and I think they're looking pretty good. I mean, I know they lost the main brother, huh?
It wouldn't be Julio Jones. They lost Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins left.
And Sammy Watkins said that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Mahomes.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Well, he probably said that because he was mad, but it just depends on. It's just depending on. I think they real close to the same skill set for getting the ball, making things happening. And
you got to also realize that Mahomes is young in his career, but he's got the same amount of wins in Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers obviously is an older player. So hopefully Mahomes' career doesn't go that direction.
Yeah. Right now, if you're talking about comparing them at the same age and time, I think Mahomes got an edge. Yeah,
I would agree. But although, and Aaron Rodgers and we'll get to him, has got to break in new receivers too.
He got to break in new receiver, but you can't argue with the fact that how many MVPs he won. So
that's true.
He truly done played his heart out, and
that is true.
He the man. What I like about Aaron Rodgers, he demand an expectation from everybody that's supposed to be in the plan of action with him.
No question.
He took those receivers in the film room. We could talk about that later, but I thought that was interesting. I thought that's unique because that's old football too. That's skill football. That's where those coaches used to coach.
Yeah. I just think that Kansas City's got enough talent to, if they can vie for it. Buffalo and Kansas City might be at it again. And The next team is number 5 is Cincinnati. And Cincinnati has done it, but Cincinnati's done it interesting. They get people from they got the offensive guard from right tackle from Dallas.
Yeah.
And they got Chidobe Awuzie, and now the Eli Apple. They got those guys, and Burrows, they said, they're practicing against the Rams. And they said that there is no limits on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrows is one of those guys. Joe cool, real relaxed.
Yeah.
He brings confidence to a team, I think. I think Joe Burrows. And then you got, obviously, the receivers and Jamar Chase and the other one, I can't remember, and the tight end, actually. Well, the tight end left for the Jets.
Yeah, he with the Jets. Yeah, the Higgs, number 85.
Yeah, Higgins.
They projected him to have a lot of fantasy points, and he's been real consistent over the years.
Yeah.
So he's probably going. I mean, that's a good combination of runners that he have, targets that he have as well. So
now the question is again, and I know Burrows is Burrows, but can they protect him well enough? They got Collins from the from the Cowboys. And can they protect him?
Yeah.
And that's the question I'm asking is, can they protect Burrows?
Yeah, because he had 60-something sacks last year.
Yeah, and that takes a toll on you.
Yeah, and he kind of hurt his knee on one of those games.
Yeah.
And but he definitely needs a little bit more protection. I mean, that's a lot of sacks.
Oh yeah, no question about it. Now the team you were talking about, the Green Bay Packers, and I'll let you start off there because I know about what happened with the receivers.
Yeah, the receivers are all kind of young, and I think what happened was Aaron Rodgers in the first part of the week had to call them all in the film room and had to point some things out, try to make sure they're on the same page because they weren't doing what the expectations were because Aaron hadn't played in none of the preseason games, but he saw the mistakes that these wide receivers were making, and so he had a meeting of the minds in the offensive training room, offensive film room, and I think they getting it now. I think they have improved upon this week, and I think that's what's needed. So being a leader and having these receivers to read what you are actually calling on the field, because a lot of people don't know you have to run and make on-field adjustments from time to time, and that's what he was talking about. That was some of the things that he had to get straightened out, with the receivers.
Yeah, but my question is, if he would have went to OTAs, could a lot of this have been done back then instead of waiting until now?
Well, OTAs got them prepared to learn the plays and the playbooks and the adjustments. And probably if he would have went to the OTAs, they probably would have been better prepared for us making adjustments. So I'm thinking on-field adjustment. And so that's what good about having preseason game, to see if these players can make those adjustments when the defense is blitzing or going in a double coverage or something like that. The receivers got to be able to read on the run sometimes, especially in the type of offense that Green Bay run. So evidently they weren't doing that.
Yeah, and I think you're right that he did take all of them in the room and everything. But I also think that all this junk could have been rectified earlier if he would have took time to go to OTAs. And I mean, he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, and he knew that he had lost Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
and he was going to have a younger crew. So
and that's probably another thing. Devontae Adams ain't there to kind of help teach the receiver what and make the adjustments too. So they probably lost a leader as well as with Devontae Adams going to the Raiders. So that might have been another thing that hurt the receiver, especially the young receivers coming in.
Yeah, I think it did. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. Number 7 is the 49ers, San Francisco. And I think their number 7 is because of obviously Deebo Sanders and his abilities. But I think their defense is really good.
Yeah, their defenses played really well.
Yeah,
Debo Sanders hadn't played, and because they reserved those type players because they don't want to burn them out. It's a long season now, but I think Trey Lance is getting his confidence, seem like,
yeah,
and they really trying to build an offense around him. They just need to figure out what Jimmy G gonna be or what they're gonna do with him. But I think they also use him as a safety net too, because
probably.
they're still early and they don't know what they really want to do. But they got some players that they can shuffle around they it's about having depth sometimes.
Yeah,
Security for the longevity of what you have to do during the season.
yeah, and I agree with you. Everything you said. I think with Boza and the middle linebacker, they are really good on defense, and they play hard, and whatever they do it well. And plus, they got Trent Williams, who's still one of the premier left tackles uh, in the NFL.
Yeah, no joke. He's been around almost 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. They call him the Silverback. That's what they call him. He even got a little documentary about him.
That's good. Yeah, I saw him talking about that, and I think he had trained one of the offensive linemen that played with the Chargers. That he was one of his mentors.
Oh, okay.
Going their best offensive lineman. I think he played left tackle as well.
Mm-hmm.
Young guy. I think he's in his second year. Made the top 100 players, and but Trent was making a comment on him. But yeah, he definitely good to have in the locker room. Got the big C on his jersey.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a good football player. Now, number 8, after playing the Cowboys, I don't know, but I'm not. These are not my picks. The Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, and you've been really liking the Los Angeles Chargers. After playing the Cowboys Saturday, my biggest concern about them is their special teams.
Well, special team really looked bad, but I'm telling you, Justin Herbert is gonna come in there, and Dallas ain't gonna have that many opportunities, so they ain't gonna be putting the ball as much as they did this past week. And of course, yeah, they gonna have to probably tighten up their special team because that's one of the weakest spots. Their defense is good, and we know
their defense is really good. Their offense is good, and I think. But do you think that's too high for them? Because they didn't make the playoffs last year. This is saying they're going to be a playoff team.
They were one game away. That was last week. But
they were one play away. One play away. Because if they would have tied the Raiders, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been playoff.
Yeah.
I'm actually putting them in the playoffs, but I think they're around the 8th to the 10th position for us being in the top 10 teams.
Wow, that's interesting that you would say that.
Yeah.
Number 9 is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, here's an interesting thing about the Ravens. We didn't discuss this last week, but the Ravens have won 22 preseason games. That's unbelievable.
You know what I like about that? It gives you so much positivity because you winning. It's something about having a winning, just being in a winning environment. And I think that's one of the things that Bill Parcells taught. Even though we're playing a preseason game, it don't count. But it's something about winning. It's something about having that edge, having some momentum going into the regular season. So I can see what the objectives are for them winning, and I think that's important. It can be a very important part of what they're trying to build in Baltimore.
Yeah, I got a couple questions for you. First of all, they have to find out what they're going to do with Lamar Jackson. And the offensive coordinator has got to get him better in the passing game because we know what he can do. He's that dynamic player. But if he's opening himself up for too many injuries if he continues to play the style of football he plays.
Exactly, and he going into his 5th year, I think.
Yes,
and I think it's very important that they get some key players around him. He probably need another receiver, or either the receiver they need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, Mark Andrews and they're a tight end, more of their tight ends, because I watched them last week. Their tight ends are really good. Mark Andrews' back is good.
Andrews in the top 30, and then Dobbs, they running back.
Yeah,
if he hurt his knee last year, but if he's healthy, they can be. They always hard to beat though.
Oh yeah, because they're so physical. They're one of the most physical teams.
Yeah.
Now here's the interesting number 10. This is the first time the NFC East has shown up, and it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys. Interesting. I just think that we hadn't seen their offense yet, and what they, how they're gonna highlight the offense. But they, last night they showed them on TV here locally.
Yeah, they did.
Tonight again they're gonna have on TV.
Yes.
Actually, they was full padded last night, and so I think they looking pretty good. It was interesting watching them. I watched them for about at least an hour last night on TV, and you got to see Dak throwing that ball, man. I mean, he was right on. I mean, he was delivering that ball perfectly, and that defense, man, Michael Parsons, man, he's all over the place.
He is.
He's looking sharp.
My concerns with him is penalties.
Yeah,
I think they have some dynamic players, obviously, and then getting Anthony Barr helps them.
Yeah, Anthony Barr look good. Yeah.
But my issue is can they stay away from those penalties, those self-inflicted wounds? And Tyler Smith didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah.
Can they stay healthy? Because they don't have a lot of depth. If they can stay healthy, they got a chance. I don't know if there'll be a Super Bowl team, but they can threaten to be one, because they do have some frontline talent.
They do.
And then you also got to look can those young receivers step up? Gallup, they said, is looking good. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb is going to be the number 1 receiver, but you're going to need, in this day and time, you need 3 or 4 receivers.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the question mark. That right now, the backup receiver that they have hadn't impressed me.
Yeah.
And they might need to get an Odell Beckham in here or something like that. Yeah. But another thing that really felt good is whenever you can score on a kickoff and a punt return, that's a good indication that you can get some things done on your special team side. And that's what they did against the Chargers last week.
Mm-hmm. And Turpin has done some good things. Yeah. But he's a little bit undersized now. He's
undersized. I'm telling you, you can hit him one time. He might have to. Well, he hit the ground yesterday. That's in the scrimmage practice. Mm-hmm. He caught a pass and he hit the ground and knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah.
So, it don't take much to knock him out. The way the NFL hit, it ain't gonna be like the USFL. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, that's true. But he was the number 1 receiver. He was the MVP of the
USFL. Because he had multiple yards on special teams as well as receiving.
And also, if you look back, he did that at TCU, what he's doing now on punt returns and kickoffs. So he did it. He had some issues, off the field issues.
Yeah, he got a knack for that. He got a knack for us.
I hope you're mentoring him.
Well, he did mention Jeff Gladney over the weekend.
Yes, he did.
And Jeff was a kid that
defensive back that was drafted number 1 by Minnesota.
Right, and he's from New Boston, Texas, which is over there by where I grew up in Texarkana.
Yes,
and I thought that was interesting that he brought his name up.
Mm-hmm. And that was a tragic. He died in a car accident here in Dallas.
Right.
And he was 23 years old. So
20. He had just signed a new contract with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Cowboys have a chance, but they're gonna have to be more disciplined.
I still say The Eagles gonna get the Cowboys everything they want. They're gonna
I would think I can't argue with that. But here's it. I mean, I think Dallas has some they have a tougher schedule at the beginning. They might start off 1-3.
Right.
And then make a run. We've done that, but we were also a Super Bowl team.
Right.
But
y'all had depth. Y'all had depth too, though.
We had a lot of depth. So that'll be good to see what happens. I'm gonna go. I'm a ride.
My concern with the depth for the Cowboys, it's all about Zeke can stay healthy, and somebody can help Lamb. They got pretty good. They got a couple.
Now Noah Brown's been playing good in the preseason.
Who is that?
Noah Brown.
Yeah.
And he's been playing good in the preseason. Other than that, there hasn't been a lot. And kind of shocking that some of the guys that they thought that's why I never trust seeing guys in shorts. I want to see them in pads because they were talking about some other guys that were making these fantastic catches. Once they got the pads on, you never heard of them again.
I'm telling you, man, it's two different games. It's two different games. It's kind of like playing. It's kind of like playing flag football and tackle football.
Exactly. And they got another running back from, I want to say he's from Houston. His last name is Houston, and he's not Houston. They got another running back that's really, they might keep 4 running backs now. Yeah,
well, this year is the first year they can keep 15 people on the practice roster.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to mess with the practice because you got to cut them first.
Well, they got to keep them. I mean, they got more room to keep them, but I'm just saying they got an extra 5 people on practice roster this year.
Yeah. So next is the Tennessee Titans.
I like Tennessee,
but they only go as far as Derek takes them, and let's be honest.
Malik Willis looked good.
Malik Willis he looked better the second game.
Yeah,
but this is Derek's team.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, when we saw what happened when he got injured, Tannehill is a kind of a caretaker.
Tannehill is making $36.6 million.
I know.
Next season.
But Derrick Henry is the engine. And
no doubt. I mean,
and there's another team, like we talk about the Ravens. This is a physical, knock your teeth out team.
And those physical teams tend to get to the playoffs, and you don't want to play them in the playoffs because they cover the
unless you can offset some of that physicalness with athleticism, just like Cincinnati did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, yeah. So that's the thing. But there'll be, I think they have one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Well, kind of looking at what we just went through, the top 11 team, and really going to be some more top 15 teams. I'm thinking too. It could be some switching of the guards because of any given week.
I agree.
The momentum can change. Because you talking about the Ravens. I would have put Tennessee above the Raiders. The Ravens.
Yeah,
the Ravens.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the Ravens have a more dynamic quarterback. But I think Tennessee is a better team as a whole.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Now, number 12 is interesting because this team still with Vic Fangio gone, they got a new
head coach.
Yeah. And it's Denver Broncos. They're saying that Russell Wilson is going to make that much of an effect. He's a franchise-changing quarterback.
I agree with that. And you know what else? Denver defense was ranked 3rd last year.
Yeah. Denver's defense was good.
Yeah, they played like lights out last year.
But they don't have Vic Fangio, and Vic Fangio is one of the greatest defensive minds of this time.
Yeah.
So that's something you got to think about. They have Jerry Jeudy, who's a dynamic receiver. They have some physical talent on offense. Can they put it all together? That's the question you have to ask. Here's one thing, and you talk about the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, every day before practice, He goes out there an hour before practice with all the receivers, and they run the routes, and he tells them what he thinks and what they're thinking about different kind of defenses.
And that's important on the field, and it's making sure they saying the same thing. I think that's one of the best ways. Maybe that's even better than going into the film room.
To me, that is. They didn't play very well last week. They played well against Dallas, but last week they struggled.
The Bills beat them 42-15.
So that'll be interesting. But Russell Wilson didn't play the whole game either.
Yeah.
Number 13 is the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think you like the Raiders.
I like some things they do. They got 2 big-time defensive ends in Matt Crosby and Chandler Jones. David Carr and Devontae Williams are going to make a lot of plays, and nobody's talking about Waller. And nobody's talking about him. They got a good running game with Josh Jacobs. I mean, they do have some good. Their interior defensive line is a little bit of a question mark.
I've been watching Darren Waller this offseason. What have impressed me the most about him is that he went to the tight end camp.
Yes.
And I think he said that he learned a lot from those legendary tight ends that we had, and I think that gonna really turn the light on for him. And
He's
I think
got a lot
if he
of
stay
talent.
healthy,
He has a lot of talent.
If he stay healthy, he's gonna be top. He's gonna be the top 3. He's gonna be a top 3 tight end.
Oh, no question.
This year,
no question. He will be a top receiver.
Yeah.
And that's number 13. The Raiders. They got a chance. They got a chance to be.
They got a chance to do some things.
There's no question they have it. So number 14 is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
They were number 14 in the preseason rankings. Now, after the draft, they're number 14. And
well, I was gonna say they saying that Frank Reich is on the hot seat.
Well, this is what his 3rd quarterback.
Yeah.
And how many years?
This is his 5th year up there with the Colts. So
yeah,
I think what really was sad about the Colts last year's season was them going down there and losing to Jacksonville the last game.
No question. And they would have been in the playoffs, right? If they would have beat Jacksonville.
Yep.
But they do have a really good running back of Jonathan Taylor. I think Matt Ryan is another one that could just give the ball to Taylor, and he is a complimentary piece. I don't know if he still has the skill to beat teams by himself, but they're very good on defense. They lost their defensive coordinator to Chicago.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with them. Here's the interesting one. It takes all the way to 15 to get the next NFC East team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're saying that Jalen Hurts, from watching Jalen Hurts this preseason, he looks pretty darn good.
I think he done settled down and kind of got a good feel. And, I think it's a confidence factor. If you get your confidence and you got some key players now around you, I think he's been doing pretty good thus far. Just the way his comments have been when you get interviewed, the things that he's done in all season for his commitment, and I think he's a football savvy guy. You and I talked about him growing up in a coaching house and growing up in Houston. Yeah. I think Jalen gonna surprise some people, and
he is, and he's won a national championship at Alabama. Obviously, Tua was hurt, and Jalen came in and led him to a national championship. It's just like Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows might not be the most physically talented player, but he has that it factor. He's another coach's son.
Yeah.
Same thing. And that's what Jalen Hurts. He might not throw the pretty long ball or anything like that, but he is a coach's son and he understands the game. And he practices and plays like he understands the game.
Yeah. And last week the Eagles was up there all week scrimmaging against the Browns.
Yep.
And they won preseason game 21-20.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking too that doing these weekly practice, what they're doing in and out, and these guys going against other teams and other players, I think it's really good. I think it gives them a good feel for, what they want to be, and get them a feel for, that starting week in 2 weeks from now. That's when the season. That's when it really gonna count.
Yeah. So them rings. I like Jalen Hurts, and I always like him. I'm not a big Eagles fan, Pags, but I do like Jalen Hurts.
I think the Eagles gonna win the NFC East.
I don't. I think the Cowboys are gonna win it. They're gonna be back-to-back champions. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead on this.
No. The next one is the New England Patriots, number 16. And here's an interesting thing. They put Matt Patricia is calling the plays by himself. And Matt Jones enjoys that because he said he has an insight to how defenses are going to attack their offense.
I thought Joe Judge was going to be calling some of the plays.
No, they had Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, and they changed it. I think as long as Bill Belichick, because obviously his football IQ is off the charts. You always got a chance to win with Bill Belichick. I mean, but are they going to be great? I don't know.
Well, I think their defense look like their defense got a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it did, but can they handle it offensively? Because they don't have a lot of skill offensively.
No.
And that's the question I'm asking.
And I think they
can't make that magic.
Yeah.
But for a lot of years, Tom Brady didn't have, that. He got the Randy Mosses and guys like that. But
he had a lot of good role players.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he did. They did. So it remains to be seen if the Patriots can live up to being number 16.
Yeah.
And
16, man, that might be. How many teams go to the playoff? 14?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got to look that up. But 16, that's the second AFC East team in the top 16 teams, I guess.
Yeah. My man Jason just texted me.
What
said
Jason
the questions are not showing up. He had a question. I'll have to look it up. I can't do it right now, Jason. I know it's about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is still a coach killer, Jason. He's going to be a coach killer, and he still is. You know how Bruce Smith had the gravestones for all the quarterbacks he sacked? Kirk Cousins on Halloween's got all the coaches that he's got fired.
Don't you talk about Halloween? That's my birthday.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Your parents started trick or treat and they got a trick, huh?
The best thing ever happened in the way you family right there. The legendary best thing that ever happened.
Oh my goodness. Here's an interesting one.
Sometimes come good on trick or treat.
That's true. Surprised. That's true. Because the candy and stuff, you're right.
Sweetness.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Here's the interesting one. Number 17 is the Cleveland Browns. Jacoby Brissett will be the quarterback for 11 games. They have a dynamic player, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
They have a couple other. I mean, their wide receiver core is going to be in it. They got Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper.
They got a running game that's out of this world.
Amari Cooper ain't had a bad season yet.
Nope, he hasn't. So. He really hasn't.
No, he's consistent.
Yeah. I mean, they do have some. Now, might be their Achilles heel. They've lost 2 centers.
Oh, yeah.
2 centers to injury.
Yeah.
And I know the game has changed where the majority of quarterbacks are taking more shotgun snaps. But there's also they got to make the pass blocking calls and everything. So it'll be interesting when they do that. Somebody here, Michael Wright, says New York Giants gonna win the Super Bowl. Michael's been drinking.
Hey, Mike, I like that. I like that. We don't want both preseason games.
Oh my goodness.
We are winning.
Yeah. But the Cleveland Browns have talent. It's interesting what's going to happen when Deshaun Watson comes back because they play the Houston Texans that week.
And an interesting thing about Cleveland Browns, they can go on a winning streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can go on a winning streak.
And they do. Brisket is a functional quarterback, so Brisket is a functional quarterback.
Yeah. He can win some games.
Yeah.
But unless he's doing something in practice, right now they didn't hardly play him in preseason.
Yeah, I know.
Up until this point.
Well, here's the thing: is their Nick Chubb's and their running game is so strong. I mean, they got 3 running backs that can play with it for any team in the NFL.
And that's the good thing about them. They got both run and pass.
Yeah,
they make some things happen.
Yeah, Brisket has just got to stay out of the way and let them play.
Let them play. Yeah, don't mess up. Don't mess up something that you can just get out there and just put it in drive.
Yeah, and number 18 is the Arizona Cardinals. That's pretty low for the Cardinals. So they're saying that how could dang well now Coot. I didn't even read that. What did he say?
That's
Put that back up.
Coot. That's my nickname.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even see it. I didn't see. I was.
No, it came so fast we didn't get to see it.
Put it back up there. But you talking about the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
They started out game banging last year, 11-0.
Yep. I'm not. Another quarterback that I'm not a fan of is Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray is for Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray was calling plays on the sideline. I think he did a good job.
And you know why he did that?
Why?
Because they took that clause out and showed people he was studying.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He football.
And that's not it. But like I said, it bothered me, and you know why it bothered me, is the issue with Aaron Donald. I'm sure there's a lot of quarterbacks that would love to do that, but that issue when he fell down a couple of times. So
well, he's smart guy. He don't want to get hit. He don't
want
to get hurt. He don't want to get hurt. He don't want to get hurt.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, sometimes if a player's lost, you got to go to the next place. So save yourself. Save yourself.
That's true. And they lost some people on defense too.
Yeah.
Arizona. So, they're going to start off and people are going to catch up to them again. They'll start off hot like they did before. And I think people, as the season progresses, they'll have the same issues because Cliff had that issue at Texas Tech. They always would jump out there and have good records. And as the end of the season,
they probably become more predictable at the later part of the season.
Yeah.
But they might get the wild card shot.
Oh, yeah. I think they'll get in the playoffs. I think that's a little too low.
DeAndre Hopkins will be back.
Yeah.
He got to miss. I think he had to miss 6 games at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Number 19 is the Miami Dolphins. That is an interesting team because you got a lot of challenges there. Tyreek Hill, and you got your guy Waddle.
Oh yeah, Waddle's gonna be doing. Hey, Waddle was, but I think the Dolphins might be just as good as the Patriots.
I would agree. I'm not arguing.
I don't see no big difference in the two teams.
No, I don't. I think the Dolphins might be a little better defensively than the Patriots this year.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins beat the Patriots twice last year.
Exactly.
I know it was under a different regime, but still, I think you're right. I can't argue with
Tyreek Hill, man. They gonna open that field up with those receivers. I'm telling you that now. It's gonna be hard.
The running game should get better.
It's gonna be hard to beat the Dolphins. It's gonna be hard to beat the Dolphins.
Yeah. And here's where it gets interesting. Number 20 is the New Orleans Saints. Jameson Winston said he's feeling better. He's feeling more confident after his leg injury.
Man, the New Orleans Saints is not better than the New York Giants. I
disagree.
I'm going to tell you that now.
I think defensively they do such a good job, the Saints. And you got to remember, there's another team that people don't think. They beat the Buccaneers twice. Either Dennis Allen knows what.
They just have their number. They had their number, but they won't beat them twice this year.
You don't think so?
No.
I think if they stay healthy, Michael Thomas gets healthy, the running back, if he doesn't go get in trouble.
Michael Thomas have missed 24 of the last 33 games.
Wow, that's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games. So you talking about 2 years of games he done missed?
Yeah.
That's 2 years of that's almost 2 full years.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's all on Jameson Winston's shoulders and how he develops, because he should have been developed, but he's not.
Yeah, he should be mature enough to go in there and lead the rally and not make mistakes and win games. It's about winning games.
Yeah. Now here's number 21 is the Washington Commanders. And I think Ron Rivera is a heck of a coach, but I wouldn't bet my paycheck on Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz right now, let's see him draw some true water to wake him up. If he don't change his mistakes, and seem like he run out of gas in the third and fourth quarter. I don't know. It's just something that, he started off really good with the coach last year. I said maybe this is a good place for him, good fit for him, and it didn't happen. It really didn't happen.
Yeah, and the defensive lineman Young won't be ready to the fourth game of the season. He can't play for actually the fifth game.
Chase Young.
But here's the thing that I've learned about the NFL today. We're giving some of these players all these commercials, all this stuff because of one good season. Yeah. But they don't do it on a consistent basis. Yeah. Chase Young is a poster child for that.
Yeah.
He is definitely a poster child for that. And he's going to have to step up when he comes back, because I think because of Carson Wentz, they're going to have to play really good defense. And
good defense. They got to have good defense. And they're going to be an interesting team, though.
Yeah.
The Commanders going to be interesting. The Giants going to be interesting. And
but these next ones are going to make you hurt a little bit. Number 22 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do not agree with that. I don't care if Trubisky. I don't care if Pickett. I don't care if Rudolph. The Steelers have Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin is one of the you can say what I know some people don't like it, but the guy has never had a losing
season.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to start now. I know they say Ben. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pickett starts by the end of the year.
I think he's going to start probably by game 4.
Yeah. You think so? But the Steelers are really good on defense.
I think he's I think he have 275 yards, 175 yards in preseason, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
No interceptions.
And they got that defense with T.J. Watts. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets 20-plus tackles again, sacks.
Yeah, T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
T.J. Watts and Hayward.
Yeah. They got
a solid rock defense.
Yeah, they do, and they'll have some players that show up on offense.
Yeah.
They're going to Najee Harris is a year older.
Yep.
And I think they're going to be all right.
They're going to be good.
I would say that's low for them.
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting one, because you promoted this team. Jason loves them. Jason thinks that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Is the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are number 23. I think that's too low for Minnesota because, you got one of probably the top 10 receiver in Justin Jefferson. You have Thielen. They have they have a running back that could play with anybody. Defensively, they got some question marks.
Yeah. But
the Vikings are not the 23rd best team.
Well, I like their coach. Like I said last week, but they didn't show up this past week in this preseason game against the 49ers.
Yeah, and they do have Coach Killer Cousin. That's always dangerous.
Yeah.
That's always dangerous, but I think they're better than number 23 in the league. That's just my opinion, because it's just the offensive talent they have. Defensive, like I said, they're going to struggle, but if they can keep some of those guys healthy on defense, they would be. Now,
this is one of the hardest football seasons to predict, and
I would agree.
Because these teams that we're talking about right now, they easily turn around and be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I could, but this next team, I don't think they can easily be in the.
I don't think so either.
The Seattle Seahawks. I think that's too high for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are done.
I think
Put
they're
a fork in them, roll them over, and roast them.
They don't have no quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback. Their defense is old. I get to talk. Oh, okay. Defense is they got all kind of issues. They're not very good on offensive line. Their running game's not very good. I mean, and I just think this is Pete Carroll's swan song.
Yeah, they looking to rebuild. Just put up.
Yeah, but it'll be with a new coach.
Yeah. This Pete, he's what 70, 71.
Yeah.
And, it's time for him to just relax and sit back and smoke a cigar.
Exactly, I agree. Here's an interesting team, and I think they're going to be better than people think. And I could be crazy. It's Chicago Bears is number 25. Justin Fields has impressed me on how he managed the offense. And I watched both games. And
I don't know how Justin Fields when he came out of college. I mean, I just think it's something about Chicago style of play. Unless this coach can turn that around, they're gonna get whipped in that NFC North.
But I think Justin Fields is going to be – I think they're going to be better. Everybody's talking about Detroit. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago wins 2 or 3 more games than they did this year. Yeah, I'm just telling you, Chicago. Yeah,
they got a lot of holes.
Somebody
said Chicago stinks.
Yeah. But I just think Justin Fields, he was pretty impressive in the last 2 games.
But what I like about Chicago is that they play hard, tough football.
That's what I'm saying.
No matter what, they gonna play you.
I agree. So it wouldn't shock me if they win more games than they did last year.
Yeah, they should win.
Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Jacksonville Jaguars are number 27. Is that too high for Jacksonville?
I like Doug Peterson. I think they're gonna have some potential, and I just think they didn't have no kind of momentum last year.
No. Well, they had a poor coach, a head coach.
Yeah,
and Urban Myers for
Urban. Yeah,
pro football.
He's a college coach.
Yeah. So I think they'll be better, but I don't know if they're number 27 because the team, New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants had a receiver hurt today. They had to cart him off.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, Chris, I want to say Chris, I can't remember his last name, but he got injured today.
It ain't Beckman, is it?
No.
Okay.
But they had an injury today in their receiving core. And we all talk about Brian DeBall. It's going to be how well, obviously, the quarterback plays. And
you know what I like about Brian, though?
What's that?
He's a player coach. You can tell that the players are just excited when they walk up the field, and when he said a remark to them, you can see the spark in their eyes. So,
well, that's good as long as he wins, because they might only get 1 year.
That's what they didn't have.
Yeah, but
the Giants,
you know as well as they are very impatient in New York.
The Giants lost 4 or 5 games last year because they didn't have that it. They made too many mistakes.
Yeah. Now the next team is Carolina Panthers. There is no way that the Carolina Panthers is the 29th ranked team in the NFL. They're up in the high 20s or low teens. And
Baker Mayfield is going to be the difference.
Yeah.
You look at his stats, man. He been a performer.
Yeah. I want to get through this. New York Jets are next at number 30. I don't know. It depends on the health of, obviously, Zach Wilson. So It depends on his health. But I think the Jets have got some. They got so much talent stacked up.
They do. They got some young talent.
They got some young talent. And, they might be training these guys for the next head coach for the Jets, but they do have some talent.
Yeah, they do.
Now they just picked up Dwayne Brown to offset them losing that left tackle.
Yeah.
And Brown's been around. He played every game for the Seahawks last year. So we'll see. Number 31 is your favorite team, the Houston Texans.
I was watching them last week, and I'm telling you, that quarterback, David Mills, he can't play. he ain't gonna be able to carry nothing, help them do anything.
Oh shoot, he'll be carrying helmets.
So right now they winning a couple of preseason games, and I don't even get excited by watching these preseason games.
Yeah.
So they beat the Rams last week. That's a fluke.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you now, you got to build. You got to go. The quarterbacks has got to be the one that driving the turning that key on and making things happen. So
speaking of that, you got the last team on here is the Atlanta Falcons, and you're gonna tell me that the Atlanta Falcons is gonna be worse than Houston Texans?
They're not.
Yeah, they're gonna be better than the New York Jets. They're gonna be worse than New York Jets or Jacksonville. I'm not gonna put or the Giants.
Atlanta Falcons is an interesting team. They got a great offensive coach.
Yes.
Great head coach.
Yes.
And I tell you what, if they played the Ritter, you're still a different team out there. I think the Ritter is a great young quarterback.
Yeah, he does. But then back to Houston, the question is could they be in the mix for Jimmy Garoppolo? Houston, the Texans. If I was Garoppolo, I wouldn't want to go to Houston.
That's the only team that Houston or Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, you did say that too. You did say that.
I've been saying it.
Yeah, you have. So they might be in, but who knows? They seem to be locked in on Davis Mills. It looks like they're saving money and instead of trying to win games.
I don't know what they're saving money for.
Yeah. But the Atlanta Falcons, they got some issues, but I don't think they're the worst team in there. They're going to be worse teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got about 2 minutes left. Is anything pressing things that
going
on?
I did want to say this. There have not been a repeated Super Bowl champion since 03-04, and that was the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So people are talking about the Rams and all that. It's hard. I don't think the Rams can repeat.
Mm-hmm. I think you got to watch out for Kansas City, obviously Cincinnati. It's just going to be tough. The AFC is better than the NFC at this point. At this point, looking at the rosters, the AFC stacked up.
I think last year we did say the AFC would probably win this year's Super Bowl. We did say that.
Yeah. So that's the thing, and I agree with you. It's going to be hard for the Rams because everybody, but they do have most of the team coming back. They lost Von Miller, ODB. We don't know what is going to happen with Beckham, but they do have them.
But this is the week that we usually fight. The Giants and the Jets play the preseason game.
Yeah.
And we usually have about 20 or 30 fights at the stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is right.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're we're down to the last couple of seconds. It's always good. We got a lot of things accomplished tonight.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to talk about who's going to win the divisions. I already got my Cowboys.
Well, it's a long season, and you got to play to win.
There you go. But it was great on there tonight, and we'll discuss it next week.
Doing my dance, baby.
There you go. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.